when I saw you standing there so pretty. That's from Him and Her, hit BBC sitcom, which has been forgotten about. Nobody seems to mention it anymore. I love Him and Her. Get on Him and Her, it's awesome if you haven't seen it. If you have seen it, watch it again, it's awesome. Welcome to another video. Hello, today I'm discussing something about Stephen Moffat, the Moff, the Grand Moff, David Hasselhoff. Girl, let me see your Moff. That's honestly horrible what I've just said there. Welcome to the show. Today we're talking about this. I'm going to just stop talking. Right. Hello. Please subscribe. I'm so close to 1,000 subscribers, like literally like a smidge off. So if you could subscribe, it means the world. Leave a like, comment, there's membership tiers if you want to do that, but don't bother if you don't want to. Let's jump into this. Timeless Who on Instagram said, fact time, when invited to pen a story for the 15th Doctor, Stephen Moffat first considered bringing back some of his most iconic creations. Would you have liked to see Ncuti Gatwa face the Silence or the Weeping Angels? Start a discussion in the comments. Right, so that's the headline. Let's read what this actually says. So, the 15th Doctor almost faced the Silence or the Weeping Angels. Invited by Russell T Davies to write for the 2024 series, former showrunner Stephen Moffat was initially unsure he had any new ideas to offer. But as Moffat recalls, conversations soon turned to potential plots. He says, I never did the Silence quite right. We could bring them back, or is it time to go for another Weeping Angels episode? I love the Silence, and I think they were done quite well. I mean, it depends if you're talking about the organisation of the Silence, or the, you know, do you forget them when you look away Silence. The forget them when you look away Silence, I actually think had a really good story. I think it was one of the only times where, like, I've actually gone, oh my god, that is, like, so clever in Doctor Who. I say one of the only times, there's probably like 20 times where I've done that, but that was one of them, like when they put it in the moon land, spoilers, they put it in the moon landing, and obviously everyone will always see the moon landing and stuff like that, and then they'll shoot them all on sight. The shooting them all on sight doesn't make too much sense because not everyone has access to guns and stuff like that, but it's clever nonetheless. So I think they were done justice, so I'm glad we didn't necessarily get them again, and we got Boom instead, which is really, really good. And he goes on to say, that he reflected that although Doctor Who spans many genres, it rarely sustains real tension because the Doctor's presence alone diffuses it. From this, he devised the landmine plot for Boom. He says, what if he runs out of the TARDIS, stands on a landmine and can't move for an entire episode? A premise Davies immediately approved. Yep, they had the budget, so he could pretty much come up with any idea that he wanted instead of Russell normally pinning people an idea and going, this is what I've come up with, you write your version of it. This time, they thought about it together, and I like that. Now, you know me, I'm always a sucker for new things. I was gutted when Mrs. Flood was the Rani because I wanted her to be a new creation, the god of all gods, or the god of storytelling, the god of this, the god of that, whatever. But she turned out to just be the Rani, and she wasn't even the Rani, she was like the Rani's sorry for swearing, I'll bleep that because it's Easter time, you know, family friendly and all that. I'm normally family friendly, so I will bleep that. I apologise. You know what? Slap on the wrist for swearing there. The Weeping Angels are one of the very many villains that speculated to be coming back in The Well last year. We thought it could be the Flood, we thought it could be the Weeping Angels, but the Weeping Angels and the Midnight Entity were the two that were the top of the list, and obviously it ended up being the Midnight Entity. But when they were talking about smashed mirrors and things like that, I did think, oh my god, this could be a Weeping Angels episode. And I'm not opposed to the Weeping Angels coming back. They're very cool villains. There's things you haven't done with them yet that you could explore that only could be done with that villain. You know, like what if a blind person was around the Weeping Angels, stuff like that, you know, things that could just be touched upon that never were. So I wouldn't be opposed to Weeping Angels, but I'm a sucker for new things. Boom is a great episode, it's a great concept, and I'm so glad that it happened. I don't hold it as highly as many others do. I actually think it's because it's only 8 episodes, it probably does fall into like the bottom tier of the series, just because I like the others more. Season 1 gets very slept on, right? The first 2 episodes, Space Babies, Devil's Cord, are probably the worst of the whole series. They go at the bottom. But 73 Yards, Dot and Bubble, The Legend of Ruby Sunday, Rogue, those are all so high. People like to write off The Legend of Ruby Sunday because Empire of Death wasn't great, but Legend of Ruby Sunday was awesome, right? Elise from Satellite 5 fell off her chair. I bring her up a lot. I'm not obsessed, I promise. But anyway, those are the 4. So Boom does fall into the bottom 4. Even though I think it's very, very good, I think these top 4 were way better. So, but no, Moffat's always great with ideas, and the idea of the Doctor being stuck on a landmine, because like he says, the Doctor's presence normally diffuses all tension. It is cool. It's a cool idea. It was executed well. I think Boom's a great episode, even if the outcome was that they were just fighting themselves, which cop out, but sure. So let's read the comments. Blowman, that's a good name, says he wanted the Weeping Angels, or who? Who are the Silents? This bloody joke. It's eternal. I don't think it'll ever end. It's like 6-7. No matter whenever someone says 6-7, whatever context, do that. Because it's 6-7, it's funny. The Silence is funny. Who are they? I don't know. Who are the Silents? Jack Davies says the Silents could have been quite good. They were enjoyable villains and scary. The Weeping Angels are my favourite villains, but a new story was perfect for Boom, and it was my favourite 15th Doctor story. Yep, I agree with this. It's not my favourite 15th story, but it is a lot of people's favourite 15th story. Maybe there's a Moffat bias there, who knows, but no, the episode is very, very good, and like I say, I think this person agrees with me that new stuff will always outdo nostalgia stuff, even though I enjoy nostalgia as well. If I could pick for Mrs. Flood to be anyone, it would be a new villain. If I could pick for Sutekh, I've always said, imagine Empire of Death, where the villain is what we got. It's a big dog who's the god of death, but it wasn't Sutekh. That would be way better. And I think that's what Russell wanted to do, and that's why he made the gods. We're like, well, then we can please two people. We can please the people who are new and like the gods, and we can please the people who are old and like Sutekh. But it didn't work very well. I did a whole video on this, like the top 5 things that went wrong in RTD2. You can find it on the channel somewhere. It was a couple of weeks ago now. I would say I'll put a tag up, but I'll forget, so I'm not going to do that. But yeah, no, I agree with Jack Davies over here. Real Ways says, no, I hate life. And they've got some replies that says, Timeless Who, I'm so sorry to ruin your day. If there's any consultation, learning this ruined mine too. Doctor Who fans and suffering. Yeah, that's the thing, because so many people like old villains coming back, and so many people dislike them coming back. So it's tricky. They can't please everybody. I've said it a million times. I think that Boom was the right call here, rather than a Weeping Angels or Silence episode. But hey ho. And actually the remainder of comments on here pretty much agree with the opposite of what I'm saying. You know, I wish we get to see the Silence again. It's a great concept that never fully shows its true potential. Like I say, it kind of does, but who knows. But ultimately I'm happy we got Boom, which is my favourite 15th Doctor story. Why didn't they do this? Said Made in China. Yeah, it would have been good. To be fair, it would have been good if we had multiple episodes, or more episodes per series. With only 8 episodes, I think it was the right move to just do Boom. But if we had 13 episodes, 12, maybe even 10, to get Moffat back to do another one that was Silence or Weeping Angel or both related, would be very, very cool. Maybe the thing is, why didn't he do this for Joy to the World? Because Joy to the World was like scrammed together at the last minute. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Hey ho, here we go. Oh, that was so awkward. Sorry, I hate myself for that. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like. If you didn't, drop a dislike. Subscribe with the notification bell on. It means the world. Do you know what else means the world? If you leave a comment. And near the comments, if you're on mobile, there's a button that says hype. If you push that, it makes YouTube push my video out to loads more people so I can get proper TikTok famous. Thank you for watching. Oh, and you can become a channel member if you want. There's 3 separate tiers. They all help me out massively. They fund me. If you get perks along the way as well. So read into that if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine. Eat some chips, watch some telly, go to bed, and I'll see you later. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye. Ta-ra.